Welcome back. Welcome to another practice with Inner Moon Yoga. Today is a quick 5-minute office break. So it can be done really anywhere. Today we are using just a little section of wall. So basically you need about 2.5 feet section of the wall. And you may want to block, but you don't need to have one. So if you're taking this break and you're like, oh, my block's downstairs or upstairs, whatever, don't sweat it. You don't have to use it today. So yeah, let's get started since we're trying to do a quick coffee break here. So utilizing the wall. So we're gonna come next to that wall with some cushion under the knees. So whether you're on carpet, awesome, or whether you have your yoga mat handy or a blanket or something. But you're gonna come sideways. I'm gonna start with my left side next to the wall, and we're gonna come into half broken wing pose here. So I'm taking that left hand on the wall and I'm making sort of a wing shape with my arm. So I'm not completely straight out. I'm not completely at a 45-degree angle. I'm sort of at this, or 90 degree, I'm sort of at a 45-degree angle, okay? And it's gonna be variation of how close you are to the wall. You might be tight up against it. You might have your seat a little farther away. You're gonna have to play with that adjustment to see what works for you and your makeup of your bone structure, okay? So I have this half broken wing in the 45-degree angle, and I'm just pressing gently into the wall with that left hand. I'm gonna bring my right hand to the small of my back and just open up the right side of my chest away from the wall as well. And so this is supposed to be somewhat gentle. Now, if you have struggle with shoulders, this can feel intense, but I invite you to really stay somewhere where it's manageable. We're gonna hang out here for about a minute or so and just get a little release happen here for the left shoulder, the left side of the chest as well. And now it's normal if you start to feel like that left hand gets a little cold. That's okay, the blood's just coming out of those fingers in the hand, and we'll get some fresh blood back in there after. But just settling in as best you can. Now, if sitting on your heels like this is an issue for you, you can always put some support under here. So sit on some blocks or some cushions and take the pressure off the knees. So we'll just take 3 more rounds of breath here on this side. Just letting go, softening the belly and the jaw. And then just slowly release that right hand from the small of the back, face the wall, so that gives you that room to slide that left hand down. Now here we're gonna face the wall completely here. So still keeping the left side of myself down the wall, but I'm just moving my seat a little way from the wall, and I'm gonna hug the wall. So I'm bringing a cactus formation with my hands, and I'm just hugging in at the wall. And again, you're gonna need to make any adjustments. So you might be farther away from the wall, or you may be nice, tight, close to the wall. So finding the version that works for you where you're feeling something. It doesn't have to be overwhelming in the upper back and the left shoulder, but where you're feeling that medium intensity, that's where you wanna be. So again, we're gonna hang out here for a minute, just finishing off this left side here. And here we're getting a little bit deeper into that left shoulder blade, the back of the shoulder, the upper back. So again, soft belly. Again, if those knees are bugging you, sitting on the heels, find some support and shove it underneath. Take the pressure, find some height and take the pressure off the knees. And just relaxing that forehead to the wall. And we're here for 3 more rounds of breath. And then again, that left hand can be quite vulnerable, so I like to release that right first, giving me the space to bring down that left. And we're gonna rotate for the other side. So now I'm bringing my right side of my body next to the wall, finding the position that works for you. Coming out with that broken wing with the right arm, so I'm at a 45-degree angle. I'm bringing my left hand to the small of my back. I'm gently pressing that right hand and forearm into the wall, as I rotate away from the wall. Again, feel free to play with the angle of that right arm, finding that sweet spot for you that works. We're very different on either side of our body, so one side may feel different than the other, and that's completely normal. And again, we'll just hang out here for a minute, just finding that nice opening for the front of the chest, the front of the shoulder. You may feel it up the side of the neck as well. So just enjoy this nice release here. And we'll take another 3 rounds of breath. And then releasing that left hand from the small of the back, giving you that space to bring down that right arm for a moment. So again, you may want to move closer or further away for this one. It just depends what works for you. And again, we're going to come into that hugging that sort of goalpost arms and bring that forehead to the wall, and then make any adjustment that feels right for that right side of you here. You may want to get closer or you may want to get further away. And just allow that forehead to relax on the wall. And just allow that really great opening happening now in the front of the chest, the front of the shoulder, into the shoulder blade. And again, we're just here for a minute, so just doing your best to settle in and let go as quickly as you can. And really just utilizing the wall to do the work here. We'll take another 3 rounds of breath here. Again, I'm going to release that left hand first, making the space for me to drag that right hand back down. All right, final one here. I'm going to use a block. If you don't have one, don't sweat it. But if you do have one, you can follow along and use the block, okay? We're going to come to lie down on our bellies. And I'm going to bring my hands up on the wall here. And you're just going to have to play with how high or how low your hands need to be. If up high is too much, the lower you bring them, the gentler it will be, okay? And the farther apart the hands, the gentler it will be on the shoulders, okay? So if you have shoulder issues, you may be somewhere like this, okay? Just getting this really great stretch. So don't try to look like me, try to be in the right spot for yourself. I'm utilizing my block by placing my forehead on my block. I don't know if you can see there, but I'm gonna put my forehead on my block. So I'm kissing it to the wall, and I'm putting my forehead on it just so I have support for my head. But if you don't have the block, which I often don't do in places, and I just dangle my head, and that's okay. We're only here for a minute, so this could just be a taste of what you can do later. So don't sweat if you have that block or not. Really just worry about being in the right position for you, so you're in that medium zone, where it's not overwhelming, where you can still find this smooth breath. You don't feel any pain in the shoulders. So you need to play with that, how far away your hands are from each other and how high up the wall the hands are. But this pose has been a life changer for me. I was someone that had a frozen shoulder, and I worked with this particular pose on a daily basis, just for a couple minutes a day, working my way up. At first, my hands were quite low on the wall. And within time, I found my mobility back. My range of motion in my left shoulder came back. But for me, on a daily basis, it took about 4 or 5 weeks to really get that full range of motion back. So we're just here. Let's do 3 more rounds of breath here. Just relaxing as much as you can for the last couple of rounds of breath. And then you're gonna feel like you're 100 years old, so just slowly slide those hands back down the wall. Slowly bring yourself back up to a nice easy sitting pose here. And if it serves you, you could bring your palms together and your hands at a heart center. You could close the eyes for a moment and turn up the sides of your mouth and just give yourself a nice smile for taking the time. This quick 5-minute practice just to bring you some energy and let go of some tension for you to finish your day. I hope that this quick, easy practice nourished your mind, your body, and your spirit. Namaste.